The Castor family is coming off of a weekend that I couldn't have ever imagined. We met other families in person finally that we've been working side by side with across the country to figure out ways to heal our children and to defeat cancer. To defeat, not to treat, but to beat it. And all three families have been successful in doing so. And all three families did it just a little bit different than each other, but we all had one major core thing in common. And that was, we were going to take it on ourselves to not accept what all the doctors were telling us. And we were going to take it on ourselves to find what would work for our children, to heal them and to beat the cancers that were in their brains and so heavily affecting our families. When this whole thing started, when life started for me, I never had any dreams or intentions of wanting to be famous, never cared about being some influencer or tub aficionado on YouTube. I mean, none of that was ever any dreams of mine. I have a beautiful family. We had a very healthy family, and we've been dealt this hand that nobody in this world would ever want. And we've had to sit back and watch as our youngest of three has been put under the knife on 2 occasions and told that we would need a third one, and then told we would need a fourth one to control the seizures that came from the first 2. And if there was any point I could get across to anybody, we know what can work to fight cancer. We know that cannabis can work, and we're not the only ones that know it. This has been something that other families and other patients and other cancer survivors have been figuring out for quite a while. When you get down to the brass tacks of it, you know, the cardiovascular system, our bodies are made of all these different kinds of systems. You've got the cardiovascular system, the digestive system, the nervous system, you have the musculoskeletal system, you have all these systems in your body. And when you look at the cardiovascular system, that was discovered several hundred years ago, and they're just still figuring out how to work in it. Western medicine is still figuring out what all it can do, what can help it, what can hurt it, and that's after hundreds of years of studying it. Our bodies have something called the endocannabinoid system. It is another system in your body, just like the nervous system, just like the cardiovascular system, just like the digestive system. This is a system in your body, and it was only discovered in the last 30, 40 years. We haven't even begun to scratch the surface on what the endocannabinoid system is capable of. But we do know that it's tied to all the other systems in your body. So if something is off with your digestive system, you start with the endocannabinoid system, and that could fix it. That could heal it. Not treat it, but heal it. What I want to know from parents that are out there that don't have any sick children, parents that have never sat across from a doctor and been told that their kids got cancer. If you were in that situation and you were told by a doctor your child has cancer, they are going to either die or we are going to do a surgery that could cripple them, or they are going to be on chemotherapy, which is essentially a poison, for the next several years of their life, that their childhoods are going to get robbed from them. If you were told that, would you want to wait another 30 years from now for all the right tests to be run, for all of the things to be proven that our family has already proved can be done? Would you want to wait until then and let your kid be another one that falls to the wayside? Let your kid be another statistic that just ends up dead or mangled or crippled? Would you want to wait for all that, or would you want the solution right now? Because the fact of the matter is all this testing and all this, we got to make sure it's safe stuff is not what's happening right now. What is happening is all of the powers that be that make all the money in this country off of health, off of lack of health. They need to get everything perfectly in line so that they can make the money. This isn't about money. This is not about money. This is about saving children's lives. Not just children either. I mean, there is nothing that we have done with our son that can't be done by adults. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes thinking outside of the box, and it takes never giving up. And just keep looking for solutions. Keep looking for what works on your body. But let's not wait another 30 years. Let's not let thousands of children get crippled or die to cancer. Let's not let everybody get all their pieces in line so that big companies that are out there can make all the money off of this. That's not what this is about. If we want to sit back as a society and truly say that there is an epidemic that is going on in our country that is pediatric cancer, if that's what we're going to say, then let's do something about it. We're doing something about it. Don't sit back and let what people have told you about cannabis your entire life shape what you think it can or can't do for the human body. Because what it can do for the human body is being proven every single day. Every day. Now, we're just driving home from what we might call a cancer retreat. And it's not like a cancer retreat that I've ever seen on news shows or TV or whatever, or on social media. This wasn't a cancer retreat where there was a bunch of little kids carrying around trash cans with them and didn't have any hair and was throwing up the entire time and miserable because they're sick out of their minds. That wasn't that kind of cancer retreat. This was a cancer retreat for families that have beaten pediatric cancer. This was a cancer retreat filled with laughter and joy for the first time in years. Our family felt things that we haven't been able to feel for the last 4 years since the second surgery, because we've been so bogged down with fighting cancer and trying to put the pieces back together after our son was crippled by a second brain surgery. So the family and I are driving back to our home, and I'm just thinking through everything that's transpired this weekend and what this could mean. We have the opportunity to do probably the most amazing thing that any of us could do in our generation. We have that opportunity right now. There is a stigmatism that has been put on cannabis, and it's been put there for a reason, and that is to keep it hidden. And it's not just cannabis. There are things out there that help the human body. And when people sit and say, oh, when it comes to cancer, nutrition doesn't matter. Okay, put water in a car and see how well it runs. It doesn't. That is what putting poor nutrition in your body does. Our bodies need fuel. It needs the right stuff. And when you're giving your body the right things, it can do what it's supposed to do. And what it's supposed to do is kick out and kill and discharge dead and dying cells. And it is those dead and dying cells that multiply and grow and feed. Instead of your body getting rid of it, your body essentially starts attacking itself. And all of that is controlled through your immune system. But if you're not giving your body what it needs, then your immune system cannot do its job. And that is fighting cancer in its most simple form. There is not a one-size-fits-all for people. There may be people out there that take fantastic to chemo, and it goes in and it attacks what it needs to attack, and it does the job. And there may be people out there that are allergic to chemo. and they can't do that. There may be people out there that are allergic to specific herbs and natural remedies that can't take the things that Ben took. You have to find what works for your body, but we need to be given a choice, and we're not. You hear the big C word, you get told cancer, and all of your nightmares come to life, and you can't hear anything anymore. But all you get told is we need to cut, we need to poison, and we need to radiate. So while all this testing is going on a plant that actually works, that can fight the cancer, that can help your body realign itself and let your body do what it needs to do, while all this testing is being done, we're continuing to do the things that we know destroy us. So keep testing. Keep proving that cannabis works. Keep doing that. And in the meantime, while we're proving that it works, we're not going to give it to anybody that actually needs it. We're not even going to offer it to these children that need it, that can help them. Instead, we're going to keep giving them the things that we know what it does. We know what chemo does to a body. We know what brain surgery does to a body. Look at our Facebook page. I'll show you exactly what brain surgery does to a body. And for all the parents out there that have battled pediatric cancer and lost, I am truly sorry for your loss. Truly, I am truly sorry for your loss. And I don't get to understand how you feel, because we got to keep our child. And I feel for you. But you were lied to, and things were kept from you that could have helped you. So please join us. Come together with us, and let's make a change, a real change. Instead of this, let's raise all this money to figure out pills that will fix this. We know what the pills can do. We know. We've seen it. We are seeing it. Stand in a crowd of 1,000 people and ask them to raise their hand if they've ever been affected by cancer in one way or another, whether it's a family member, a friend, themselves. Every person in that crowd will raise their hand. And I bet you 90% of them can tell you exactly what surgery, radiation, and chemo did. We know what that stuff does. And it may be necessary. I'm not saying it's not. There are going to be cases where people have to do that. But there are other options, and they're being hidden from us, and they're being told that we can't have them. And we're being told that if we go off script from what we know, which is poison, radiation, and surgery, if we get away from that, then they'll take our children. How is that right? There are people in this world that need to have their kids taken away from them for safety. Families like ours that have given everything they got, and when they couldn't give any more, cancer took the rest. Families like us, we don't need our kids taken away. We've done everything we can to save our children. What we need is we need support. We need people to back us. We need people to go on this journey with us and say, enough is enough. Crippling children has got to end. Poisoning them has got to end. Frying their brains and their organs with radiation has got to end. We can't get them all. There will be times where people have to do those things. But there are other options, and there are things we can try first. The no harm protocol is the best first step that anybody could take. Getting on the right diet for your body is the best second step anybody can take. Eating raw garlic, as crazy as that sounds, twice a day, that's been aerated, chopped up, and aired out for 15 minutes, is the third step to take. And find a beekeeper. Ask them for something called propolis. P-R-O-P-O-L-I-S. Propolis comes out of a beehive. There are no psychoactive elements to it. It literally looks like tree bark. And you can take a pinch of that twice a day. Drink a gallon of green tea a day. There are things you can do to help your body fight what is inside of it.
Talk about your elevated testosterone.
Sure. In the midst of everything with Benjamin and battling that cancer a year ago, I went and had blood work done. I'm in my 40s, tired all the time, got no energy, got just beat down. So I decided to have my testosterone checked. And in the midst of that, they found out my PSA levels were elevated, which PSA levels has to do with prostate. So the immediate response was, we need to get you into an MRI machine and we need to get aggressive. I pumped the brakes. I used the knowledge that I had, what we've learned with Ben battling cancer. And the first thing I did was I switched to a plant-based diet. Not an easy task to do. I love to eat animal products, just like most Americans. But I started there, and then I started drinking 2 liters of green tea a day. Unsweetened, regular caffeinated green tea every day. And I began eating propolis, which comes out of a beehive. Ask any beekeeper, they'll tell you exactly what it is. Most of them refer to it as bee glue, and a lot of them throw it in the trash because they don't even know what it's capable of. And in a short 3-month period, I dropped my elevated PSA levels from 2.65 down to 0.38. I got over 2 percentage points removed from the reading. I didn't take chemo, I didn't have surgery. I just made a couple really easy changes. The animal product thing wasn't exactly easy because I enjoy eating meat, but a couple of changes, guess what? I'm not elevated anymore. There are solutions, guys. There are things we can do to help our children and not hurt them further. Our family gets to live with regret the rest of our lives about what our son has been put through. We don't know if it would have ever been any different. We don't know. But I wish I could go back in time and just try some of these things first before I let them take a knife to his brain again. I do not believe for the first minute that his oncologist or that his neurosurgeon ever wanted to harm my son. I don't believe that they wanted that at all. I believe that they want to help people. But we're doing it the wrong way. You may still need surgery, and you may still need chemo, and you may still need radiation, but try the plans first. Start there if you can. If the cancer is not to the point where it has to come out right this very second, if you have just a little bit of time. We saw things change for Ben in the first 8 weeks after we started his cannabis treatment. 8 weeks. The cyst that was in his brain that was making his eye go sideways shrunk to the point where his eye straightened back out in the first 8 weeks.
Without surgery.
There was no surgery needed for that. It was just finding what worked. And it may not work for you. There's a chance it doesn't. But what if it does? What if it does? Look at our videos, check out our page, and tell me that you wouldn't do anything to avoid what has happened to our son happening to your children. Nobody wants this for their kids. Nobody that I've ever met wants this for our kids. And I don't want this for our family. I don't want to be making this video right now. I don't want to have any part of this world that we've come into. But we're here, and we have found solutions. What kind of human being would I be if I just sat back and said nothing? What kind of person would I be if I didn't put it all out there to try to save another kid's life? To try to save another family all of the trouble and the hurt and the pain and the work and everything that we've gone through. We can't sit back. We got to do something about it. Join us.
I saved Ben.
We beat brain cancer.